Today's Q&A, John Phillip Santos, who's a distinguished lecturer from UTSA and a board member at the Briscoe Western Museum, which is presenting a new exhibit about the work and the lives of today's vaqueros and the birthplace of the modern cowboy. Yes, it's all about San Antonio and South Texas. I've always been fascinated with this subject and the history of Texas and Mexico and the birth of the cowboy way. Tell us more about who is a vaquero?
Well, long before there was ever a cowboy or a cowgirl, Ursula, there were vaqueros. This is a tradition that goes back to the very beginning of the story of Mexico. The vaqueros were, in fact, a part of, the horse-mounted soldados were a major part, as we all know, of the conquest that took place 500 years ago. But the vaquero tradition is that tradition of livestock agriculture that emerged in the rural areas of Mexico, first in central Mexico, but now extending well into the north. And in fact, in the north is where it got rooted and ultimately seeded the beginnings of the American West, what we think of as the cowboy West. So Werner Segarra has taken extraordinary photographs of this world for the last 40 years in the mountains, the remote Sierra Occidental in Mexico, in the state of Sonora. And these photographs testify to the richness of this vaquero culture, a culture that has now come to embrace vaqueras. So any visitor will come and see these extraordinary photographs of vaqueras, of female vaqueras. And this is a tradition that is, in a sense, on the verge of twilight between industrialization of livestock agriculture and the threat of the narco cartel violence. These are vaqueros on the edge. So Werner has brought a testimonio to this world that I think many South Texans will identify with, from LaSalle County and farther south. Ursula is herself a horsewoman, and we will all see in this world something kindred to the world we know in our ranchos of South Texas.
You're absolutely right. Most people don't realize that the saddle horn on a Western saddle, the lasso, these are all things that were invented by the vaquero in Mexico, adopted by American cowboys, and we still use all of that today in rodeos and in ranch management. Like I said, I've always been so fascinated by it, but really, as you touched on, a lot of people around the country consider this an obsolete way of life and politically incorrect as well. It really is, like you said, twilight.
Well, they are, as we might say, misinformed. Anybody who has come to know this world knows it's a world of great charisma and richness, the foods, the vistas, the landscapes, the sense of adventure and borderline danger on occasion that we encounter out on the saddle in remote areas. And you'll see in some of these photographs of Werner's some very treacherous paths that these horses and vaqueros take together. What's striking, Ursula, is that this is a very remote world from San Antonio, Sonora, but in fact, it's a world very similar to the world we find in Coahuila and Nuevo León, in parts of South Texas. Anyone who has had any taste of that will see a kindred world in these photographs. And the fact that it's at the Briscoe Museum is a reminder that the American West began in Mexico, that, as the museum tagline says, the West starts here. This is a breakthrough exhibition in terms of connecting the story of the American West to our other great American origin story in Mexico.
And it's wonderful that this is being shown. I guess there's a sneak preview today, but it's being shown during Hispanic Heritage Month, which we are trying to highlight here at KSAT 12. And so if you can, give us a rundown of the things you can see throughout the week coming up.
Well, tonight, people still have a chance to get down here. At 6:30 to 8:30 is going to be the opening reception for Werner's extraordinary show. You will see 60 photographs of extraordinary quality, a photographer really informed by the technique of Ansel Adams and Sebastião Salgado. This is a photographic artist, Werner, and he has brought that incredible eye to the world of the vaquero. So, this is the beginning of an initiative at the Briscoe Museum that's going to broaden the sense of connection to the Tejano tradition. Exhibition development is underway now for a permanent exhibition that will highlight the Tejano experience of South Texas, that experience of all of our families that came up out of Mexico, bringing many of these traditions to the United States in that way that will transform our future. So I'm all for protecting the vaquero, protecting the future of the vaquero. And by letting people know what this looks like, I think that's one step forward in that path.
I think you're right. I was telling you before we started this interview that, this morning I was riding a horse and before I went to work, and to me it is therapeutic. It's therapy. You're one with nature. It's a truly unique way of life, and it's wonderful to know that it still exists as a way to make a living in some places.
That is so beautiful. So, I would like to start my days with a nice horseback ride. I did that at one time.
You're
many
invited
years.
anytime.
Thank you so much. But you're exactly right that it's a tradition that I think we carry a unique connection to in South Texas that the rest of the world perhaps has seen in movies or experienced in some kind of romantic edition. But we know the truth of it, the richness, the human connection, the sense of connection to the horse, the connection to animal husbandry, the extraordinary landscapes, and nothing like waking up to a sunrise on horseback.
Wow. You're making it sound so beautiful. Everybody's going to want a horse now.
That is indeed true.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for meeting with John Phillip Santos, distinguished lecturer from UTSA. You certainly are a good expert, and we invite everybody to come out to the Briscoe Museum. Next week, there'll be movies and food and all kinds of things each day.
Barbecue planned, a serious barbecue is going to be put on at Parrillada in October. It's all available on the Briscoe website.
It's wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much, Ursula. You be well. Stay well on your horse.
Adios. We'll be right back.